All right, guys, what's up? What's going on? Quick video for you today. I want to talk real quickly about this camera right here, the Sony ZV-1. I never ever buy Sony. I hate Sony. I feel like they feel like consumer appliances in my hand. But I have to admit, Sony makes some really, really good cameras in terms of autofocus and overall package and value. I'm a romantic about cameras. But more importantly, I'm recording this today on an iPhone 12 Pro. I do have the little Rode Video Micro microphone plugged into my camera. So this is audio from that. And I'm shooting on the main middle sensor on the iPhone 12 Pro, because what I want to do is talk to you about why I like this camera so much for video only, and why if you're looking to do vlogging or doing some running on video, this is probably one of your better choices. But more importantly, I want to say, how does this compare to this in terms of what we're doing today, talking, okay? So first, let's get into it. But before I do, I have to say something. I'm not really sure how the HDR video in the iPhone 12 Pro is going to be handled inside LumaFusion, which I use to do a lot of my editing. I've heard that the HDR video is ahead of its time on the iPhone 12 Pro, and it kind of can get weird if you put it in like Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, or maybe even LumaFusion. So just keep that in mind. I'll make a little comment at the end of the video if I feel like it's weird. But nonetheless, here we go. Let's talk about the Sony ZV-1, which I picked up from Best Buy, open box for like $600, maybe $620, I think it was. And basically like new condition. And I want to point out a few things that I think are fantastic about this camera, make it the best run and gun video pocket camera that you can possibly buy today that's maybe not your cell phone, and we'll see about that. Number one is its size. This thing is tiny. It fits in my hand like this. It's actually smaller in so many ways besides thickness than my iPhone. And you can put this in your sweatshirt pocket, jacket pocket, even your pants pocket, no problem, and have really no issues with it at all. Second, the speaker on top, or microphone on top. They put this big microphone here. It's directional. I think you can like change the directional type nature of it inside the settings. I haven't gotten into that yet because I usually do attach a microphone, which I'll talk about in a second. But more importantly, they had a pretty ingenious solution with the dead cat. Previously in the past with like the Sony RX100 Mark V or Mark VI, I'd have to glue things around the speaker or the microphone and then glue a dead cat on. Well, they came up with this idea to take the hot shoe, move it to the side, make this bigger microphone, and then give you this hot shoe mount, which goes on top, as you guys see, and it goes over and covers it. So much more robust solution, and it easily comes off if you don't want this furry thing on top, which is amazing. So the microphone internally is actually really, really good if you don't want to attach a separate microphone to it and just use it for run and gun. Which brings me to my next point, which is it absolutely has right here on the side a 3.5mm headphone jack or microphone jack input. So you can connect any kind of microphones you want to this, which is awesome because audio is very, very important in videos. I know I don't usually make that a known point. Sometimes my audio sucks in my videos, but nonetheless, this is fantastic. You can hook up any kind of, Rode wireless system, a Rode microphone. You can do off-camera mics, whatever. Microphone is huge, and it was one of the drawbacks in all these compact cameras prior to this camera or the G7X Mark III, or even I think the RX100 Mark VII I think has it now. But nonetheless, that is huge and of it by itself. That's the next reason why I like it so much. The last reason, and some people do or don't like this, is it has a flip screen. And even more importantly, it takes one step out of the process. Watch this. I open this flip screen, it turns on automatically. So you just want to whip this thing out and go, watch. Boom. It's one motion, right? Flip it around, and we get going after it. I love it. You're done. Close it. Boom. So the off and on function is tied to this guy right here. Now, of course, the button on top for off and on can be override that. But I like that. It's just, boom, open screen. Let's go. Let's start firing away. The next thing is they actually fixed some of the in-camera color profiles. Sony used to have notoriously bad color science. I think in this camera they've gotten a lot better. I use portrait type setting. I don't do any color grading, and I just let it go, and it is what it is. I think it looks pretty good. I'll put that up here in a second. Finally, they use the better, I think, in my opinion, lens for vlogging, the 1.8 lens, the 24-70 equivalent. I like that better than the longer reach. I think the faster aperture is more important because this is a 1-inch sensor, which is great for a compact camera, but not as big as a Micro Four Thirds APS-C or certainly not a full frame camera. But it is much bigger than your iPhone for sure. And next to that, with the 1.8, is they put built-in ND filters in here. So you can leave this thing wide open in most situations and not have to stop down too much unless you're trying to do the 1/50 shutter rule. nonetheless, the ND filter helps a lot with keeping that maximum aperture open if you're in bright light and you want to keep that depth of field, the shallow depth of field. The next thing is, and I'll do maybe a bit of this if I remember to do it, they have a product showcase function. So this goes like the whole autofocus aspect of things. Again, I'll flip this over in a second and show you. The autofocus on this thing is insanely amazing. Never loses focus. It knows where you're at. It keeps locked on your eye in almost all situations. It has exposure priority for your face. So if you were doing like evaluative metering and you had a bright background, you'd be underexposed, right? You have to bump your exposure up. The Sony is smart enough to know, like, hey, I'm doing a talking video. There's a face. Let's expose for the face over the background. It does that for you. On top of that, you hit the little button on the back and it goes into product showcase. It knows if I'm doing a product video and I'm going to put stuff up and show it to you, and the autofocus is crazy, crazy fast. So I'll show that in a second here. The autofocus is just fantastic. It's better than anything I've ever used in my life. I think Canon is really close, or if not on par to it, but Sony's is the best. So all these reasons are why you should get this camera. If you're into any kind of video vlogging, you can use it in studio. I think it's really, 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 really good for that purpose, given the price and what it can do. Now, as a camera, it's equally as capable, but I'll tell you, this is why I don't like Sony. It's uninspiring. It's plastic. Just something about Sony camera. I just don't love them for photography. I'm sorry. It's a personal thing. Don't take it personally. But I would rather shoot just about any other pocket camera than this for photos, even though it does an amazing job with autofocus and it does an amazing job with image quality of that 1-inch sensor. It's fantastic, I should say. I just don't like to shoot with it. So I use this mostly just for video. So what I'm going to do now, you have been watching me talk and ramble on the iPhone 12 Pro. I am going to stop video on this, flip over to this camera, put the microphone into it so you guys can see how that sounds, and just do a quick autofocus test and talk to you guys about that. All right, guys, welcome back. I mean, it took me like 3 minutes to transfer things over. It was like 5 seconds for you guys, right? Should I do this instead? Hold on. Okay, now we're on the Sony ZV-1, and this is a quick test. Now, notice this image. I'm looking at myself on the screen, which is one of the temptations with the flip-out screen. I'm going to look over there. But look at this image and compare it to what my iPhone 12 did. Now, what's interesting, I haven't watched this in post yet. Like I said, I heard that the HDR video that's in iPhone 12 Pro throws some of these third-party rendering or third-party editing suites for a loop. So we'll see how it is. But nonetheless, take a look at this image and also the audio quality and how that looks, sounds compared to my iPhone 12. Again, same microphone, so no difference there. It's the Rode Video Micro, whatever it is. But I want to show you a couple things with autofocus, right? So first, let's just see how it does tracking my face. I'm at f1.8. I let the shutter run wild. It's like 1/500th of a second. So if there's, motion blur, whatever, it is what it is. But just watch this thing keep focus on me. And keep in mind that this is a 1.8. I think the 1.6 is on the 1.6 aperture on the iPhone, but the sensor is much bigger on this camera, and so it has to work a lot harder. So here we go. Look how fast it keeps up with me. I mean, it's in focus, never loses me. I'm watching it track my eye. There's a box around my little eye. It's insane. I mean, just look at this. It's perfect. I don't even think about autofocus with this camera. Absolutely incredible. Now, I think there's a button back here. That's not it. Where's product showcase at? Or is it down? Nope, not exposure comp. I don't know where it's at. Dang it. I don't know. But I'll say this. Here, let me pause this for 1 second. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I have it now set to product showcase. So I don't see a box on my face anymore. But watch this. Watch how fast this thing will, like, if I pull something up and I want it to focus to you guys. Watch this. It'll prioritize focus closer to the camera. Boom. 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 Nuts. Right? Look at that. Tony Northrup, in his stupid videos, he shoots everything at 50 f1.2. Be amazing. I mean, even look at something as small as this. Look at that. It's got all of this face to work with, and it's picking this instantly. The camera is nuts. I mean, look at it. It knows. It prioritizes foreground. Check this out. Look at this. Boom. Back to this piece. Back to me. I'm the most thing in the foreground. Now this. Now this. Absolutely nuts. The autofocus is incredible in this camera. So there. I wanted to get that in front of you guys. The Sony ZV-1. If you're using it, oh, the garbage man's here. That's loud. If you guys want to use the Sony ZV-1 for video, pocket video, 100%, you cannot get better than this, in my personal opinion. So with that, I'm going to be keeping this to make videos on most of the time, I think, actually. Yeah, okay. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Go buy it. That was a quick review, quick conversation. I'll see you guys in the next one.